to make the best smoothies. This is from Dash. This is a 2¼ horsepower blender that'll make soups, rice flour, cashew butter, whatever it is, soups. Did I say soups? Smoothies, ice cream. It is incredible, and this is the lowest price we've ever offered. When I bought mine, I bought it in my host pick, and it was not $149. This is the lowest price ever on our final quantities. It's also available on 6 Flex. They lowered it to 6 Flex. It's $24.99. We have black or red. Red is the one that I have. We're gonna show you how incredible you can do everything with this. I would be on the phone right now because it's more than half off, the lowest price ever. But if you need a really good blender, this is the one. And Kelly Diedring, our kitchen expert, is
I
here.
did a double
Kelly.
take when I walked past the promo and it said $149.
Never.
We've always sold it at $189 as the best price. So
best price, and still an incredible value.
Yes.
And you jump on it. I don't know how we did it at $149.
So maybe this is a good Mother's Day gift or even Father's Day gift, whatever, wedding gift. What a great idea as a gift, because this is truly a professional style blender. Yeah. So when we say power, and we'll talk a lot about power because it's a blender, so quite frankly, that's the most important thing. It's 2¼ horsepower. What I love that it's all digital, plus there's some built-in. So you have soup, frozen, and smoothie all built in. And then you have 1 through 10 dial in terms of, you know, your manual settings. So it's super easy to use. It has a brain that thinks on its own, and it has more horsepower than some $600 blenders. There's a $600 blender in the market. You always see it demonstrated at like a big box store. You know which one I'm talking about. It has 2 horsepower. This is 2¼ a whole full quarter horsepower more, which is quite a bit in terms of power. We also have all metal to metal construction, 3-year warranty. My car came with a 3-year warranty. You're getting one on your blender, okay?
And it wasn't $149.
Exactly, so here we go. What we do is I purposely use this kind of really difficult ice. This is the kind of ice that really burns out most blenders that are $100 or below. It's the kind of ice that comes from our freezer, right? This is not fluffy TV ice or gas station ice filled with bubbles. Right. This is that stuff that you cringe every time you have to put it in your $100 blender. Yeah. If you've paid $100 for a blender, you're probably running about 250 to maybe 500 watts. This is 1,400 watts. Oh. So if you've ever paid $80, $90, $100, you're probably about maybe 500 watts if you're lucky. This is almost triple.
Yeah, the blender you got for your wedding, certainly closer to that level.
Probably to that level. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and choose frozen because we're doing a frozen drink. I've got mango tequila, of course, little margarita mix, and then I have that hard ice that we were talking about. All I have to do is choose frozen, and I'm gonna hit on.
On its own.
It's pulsing on its own. That's why we walk away. A, because it's loud, and B, because I want to show you I'm not standing there and I'm not having to toggle it up and down or try and figure out, do I need to press on or off? It automatically knows when you choose one of those presets. It'll go for about 30 seconds, but I happen to know it only takes about 15 seconds to make a margarita. How do I know that? I don't know. I just make a lot of margaritas.
Yeah,
I read the book. But you get that beautiful, frozen, creamy, dreamy, perfect consistency.
No chunky ice.
Chunks. No bumps. This is like you went to that nightclub and spent $18 on a margarita. And you do it because they're good, right? Or you go to the cruise ship and you spend the $22, or you go to the theme park and it's, you know, $20.
Oh my goodness.
When you can do it at home, you become the hostess that you always wanted to be.
And this is, if you are having a party and you're making, you know, pitcher after pitcher after pitcher.
64 ounces.
And it doesn't matter because it will still go. That motor's not gonna burn out. It's got all the horsepower. This will go longer than your party will last for
We're
sure.
giving you a 3-year warranty. You could run it for 3 years. I mean, really, it really rivals bar blenders. If you think about a bar situation, they are blending drinks all day, every day, right? This actually has more horsepower than certain bar blenders, like I've asked before, 800, 900, 1,000 watts. 1,400 watts.
Wow.
So all your presets are included. On this one, we're actually gonna start it and wheel it away because it's gonna take about 5 minutes, but there's no heating element built onto the inside. So that actually shows you what kind of power we're talking. It will cook soup with just the power of the motor. Wow. Just friction, just based on friction. That's how powerful this motor is. So all I have is just my tomatoes, a little bit of broth. You can see I've added butter, just, you know, for flavors or whatever seasonings you like.
Like a tomato basil bisque, kind of.
Beautiful. And then right next door, I'm also gonna choose soup and we're gonna do a hot fondue. So you can be as healthy as you want or as decadent as you would like. I see that she cored the little strawberries. You could take this chocolate and pour it in the strawberries
that's gorgeous.
that she was coring. So we're gonna just hit the start button, and then like I said, we're gonna wheel this one away, we're gonna wheel it back in so that you can see it'll get up to 180 degrees.
Okay.
So it doesn't actually cook the nutrition out, that would be around 212, but it gets hot enough that you don't have to take it to the stovetop or microwave.
Right, nice. So this is so versatile. You are gonna be absolutely, we were floored actually, Kelly and I, that it was only $149 today. It's on 6 Flex just for today, so you can get it home for $24.99. It's the lowest price ever. And it's about a 3-year warranty. Look at that, 1,400 watts going to work. And it's also heating up the soup at the same time because of the incredible, because of that incredible friction and all of that power. So it's also able to heat up the chocolate. How else are you heating up the chocolate? In the microwave?
Or you'd be doing the fondue pot or the double burner. So this is truly that professional series blender at the non-professional series price.
Yeah.
Because a professional series blender, a chef's blender, what they call it, is about $600. Maybe on sale $450.
Yeah.
And this one's $450, I think, regular price.
It's about $379.
Okay, $379. There you go.
Great value.
Great value.
For a 2 1/4 horsepower blender. And we've taken over 50% off today. This is your opportunity to buy over today. If you're waking up right now and you've been trying to make a smoothie out of your blender, you know, a lot of those the blenders that only make smoothies.
Right, well, they only make one thing.
And they've got like a 90-day warranty or something.
Yeah, and they're about 700 watts of power.
And they don't actually blend ice. The ones that only do smoothies, they won't. This is so powerful. You can do your smoothies, your blended drinks, your soups, your chocolate fondue, your nut butters.
Oh, yeah.
It really is so powerful. Now, talking about dimensions as well, somebody said, well, I won't keep that out on my countertop. I was like, well, this is an incredible motor. Like you can't house
so here's how
a
I keep
1400-watt
it.
motor in a little.
Yeah, I keep it under my counter without the carafe.
Yes.
So it's tall, right? So it may not fit depending on your cabinet height with the carafe, but most often your carafe's gonna be in the dishwasher because it's dishwasher safe. I just keep it like this. It's so beautiful. It's such a talking point.
Pretty.
It's the prettiest blender I've ever seen. Now there are professional series blenders out there where, like I said, you spend about $600 on them, and I find them unattractive. So if attractiveness is important to you in your kitchen, this to me is the prettiest one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like blenders that look like they should be in the back of a kitchen because I don't live in the back of a kitchen. I live in the front of the kitchen and I have guests over and I like things to look nice. So I think that's important, and Dash does that really well. But if you're into, you know, maybe not just frozen drinks, because we all do love a good frozen drink, but maybe you are getting healthier. Maybe smoothies have become part of your life.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not happy with the blender that you have because you get the chunky smoothie. That's the opposite of what it should be. It should be smooth, right?
Yeah.
So that's
chunks of kale or
right.
something.
You don't want chunks of kale because then you won't drink it because you'll be chewing your kale, and that's why you did a smoothie to begin with. Look at how smooth that smoothie is. And we didn't add any liquid. So if you've ever seen like blenders demonstrated on television, or maybe you're at the big box store and you see them adding like orange juice or coconut water or milk or something like that, to me, they're just adding calories.
Sure.
This was just fruits and vegetables. It liquefied it. It's that powerful that it can take fruits and vegetables without the addition of liquid.
And it makes it almost creamy.
It's creamy.
It's unbelievable that we have this price. And I'm gonna say unbelievable because I have this. I paid a lot more than $149 for mine.
Yep.
I've had it in my host pick before. It was much more than $149. It's well over 50% off today. We only have 6 Flex on it for today. I don't know how long that price break will last. It's gotta be only for the quantity that we have available. Red or black, and $24.99 to get it home. If you get it home and it's not everything that it's cracked up to be, if it's not the best blender that you've ever had, you are welcome to send it back. We have 30-day return policy here. We're gonna ship it to you for free. So maybe we're gonna ship it to your mom for free, or maybe we're gonna ship it to you, and you're gonna make mom breakfast in bed. It's a big customer pick for a reason. At $379, it's a customer pick.
And it's always a customer pick. It has been since we launched it a couple of years ago. We have a couple of versions. There's a more expensive version. This happens to be the best priced version. That one's a customer pick. Let me show you. So I've used the presets, which you saw me using, the soup, the smoothie, the frozen, and now I'm gonna use the manual setting. So I have 1 all the way up to 10, and now I'm doing nut butters. And what's so funny about nut butters is if you buy a blender that's maybe like $100 or below, in the manual of some of them, and I've read it, it says do not try with nut butters because they don't want you returning it when it gums up the motor and burns it out.
Right.
Because they're gonna say, well, we warned you. Okay, this one laughs at nut butter. So this is just peanuts, but it could be almond nuts or cashews or macadamia nuts. And then I slowly start, and then I'll go all the way up to high, and you'll see I'm gonna use the Tamper, which comes included, just to start pushing the nuts, and it'll extract the oil. There's no added oil, no added sodium, and it will turn it into a nut butter.
How expensive those nut butters are. If you go to the health food store and you go and you get the fresh nut butter, it is so expensive. And then you gotta use it right away or it gets old. This you don't have to use any added oils. You can put fresh almonds or cashews. You can use, I love she's using honey roasted peanuts, so you get a little bit of that sweet. And now it's just, she can make this fresh every day. Imagine fresh peanut butter every day.
How crazy is that?
I mean, unbelievable.
It was less than 45 seconds to fresh one ingredient peanut butter. And if you're thinking, well, I can just buy peanut butter in a jar, and it's often on BOGO, okay? Look at the ingredients. You're buying a lot of preservatives, you're buying chemicals, sometimes you're buying a ton of sodium.
Yeah, and sugar as well.
Lots of sugar, especially in the ones that are geared towards the kiddos.
Yeah. And if you decide to go healthy and you go to the market that actually makes peanut butter, it's ridiculously
it's crazy expensive. It's about 12 bucks a pint. And I paid about $3 for this amount of peanuts, or maybe not even $3.
If you haven't tried fresh peanut butter, you are in for a treat.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
really is.
It's like when I went to Costa Rica and got coffee from the coffee farm.
Yes.
It's a whole different world. Like, it's
I kind of agree with you. And a lot of people have never tried fresh homemade peanut butter or fresh homemade almond butter. And with almond butter, I give it a teeny bit of salt and I give it some cinnamon. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
kind of amazing. Good. Yeah. So, but flavor it how you like. If you don't want salt, maybe you want sugar, maybe you want it a little sweet, but then it's up to you what you're adding and not up to the manufacturer.
That is so good. And it's almost a little bit warm.
Yeah, it's
like
warm because of the friction. So when you get it right out of the blender warm, it's the best way to do it. Can you imagine with a little bit of like a dark chocolate?
Now you're killing me.
Yeah.
So speaking of warm, we just sort of set this aside. How long did it take?
So the soup button is set for 8 minutes. It usually takes about 5.
Okay.
To get to 180 degrees. You can let it run the whole cycle. But this is what tomato soup should look like, not that bright color that comes out of a can. You know, it's like neon red or something that comes out of a can. Sometimes they add food coloring, red dye, this or that to the canned soups. Sometimes, it depends on which brand you're buying. Also, they have a ton of sodium.
A lot of MSG in most of those cans of soups as well.
In the cans as well, but look how much we're making. It'll be the healthiest drink besides the smoothie we just made that you have all day. This will fill you up, and this is tomatoes and broth. And maybe a little bit of seasonings or butter, whatever you want to put in there. So that's why Dash's motto is unprocessed your food, because they want to give you tools to allow you to get the processing, the chemicals, the preservatives out and get the healthy stuff in.
And we have the lowest price ever. So if you've been looking at this, and maybe the price has been keeping you from getting it, it's not keeping you today.
Not today.
$149, $24.99 on 6 Flex, only for today. And we're gonna ship it to you for free. This is a huge customer pick because it's the best blender for the price. It's one of the best blenders in the market, bar none, regardless of the price. One of the best blenders in the market. But today, it's the best blender for the price.
Look at that. So I'm not suggesting that chocolate fondue is a health food. What I'm suggesting is that
antioxidants,
you got the garbage out of it, right? It's not all the chemicals and the processing that comes from the manufacturer. It's just the cream that we added and the dark chocolate squares that we added. And if you want to sweeten it, you could use stevia or honey or anything like that maybe. Totally up to you. So I just find it gives me the ability to eat healthier, but not with extra effort. Because very few of us are willing to put in extra effort, and I'm one of the ones that's not really willing to put in that much effort.
Well, it doesn't take much time because of the power that you get here, because of the 2 1/4 horsepower. And if you're comparing watts to watts, if your blender doesn't say anything about horsepower, it probably doesn't even have 1 horsepower.
Yeah, right.
It probably just has a couple hundred watts. This has 1,400 watts of power, and it's really simple. There are presets that you can use. There are also, you can actually pulse it if you want to do it on your own. And this will go to hot. I think that one got unplugged,
I was going to say,
actually,
speaking of power,
somehow.
I just lost power.
Aw. All right, well, we can go on to the next one if we want, because this, maybe this one is plugged in.
It was on,
We'll see.
and then I just lost my power.
So first, when you get it home, take it out and plug it in.
Yeah. Don't lose
That's
power.
where you get the most power, is when it's plugged in. But there are so many different things that you can do with it as well. Maybe this whole island is out of power, is it?
Nope, this one's okay.
Oh, okay.
That one's just
You choose
lost
red
power.
or black, and then this top is actually like a Triton plastic. It's really strong.
Yeah, that's a good
but
point.
You
We
can
should show the
put
gears,
it in. You can put it right in the dishwasher.
So it's all metal to metal construction. And if you've
so
ever,
that just goes right in here.
Yeah.
Like there's no,
it's steel to
nothing
steel.
To be scared
so if you
of.
own, I keep referencing $100 blenders because that's what most people purchase. They feel like, okay, $100, that's a good blender. It really depends on what you're getting. So for $150, you're getting metal to metal gears, which means you're not gonna have plastic gears breaking.
That's
So
why
I've
it's got
owned a blender
3-year
before
warranty.
and it was plastic gears. And so they'll give you that 30, 60, 90-day warranty because after 90 days, that plastic's gonna start to crack and break and wear. We give you 3 years. I mean, that's almost unheard of in anything that plugs in.
Any electronic item to get 3 years, usually you would have to pay for an extra couple of years of a warranty. 3-year warranty, lowest price ever, $149, only on the remaining ones that we have. And that flex pay is good for today only. 6 flexible payments. That's interest-free. Any major credit card, $24.99, and you get 6 months to pay that off. We're gonna ship it to you for free. This has been, and that's my children's favorite, is to make ice cream.
I'm gonna do the
in
ice cream
this.
now. I'm just gonna switch it to this motor.
You know, I've got a gluten-free daughter.
Okay, oh
and
perfect. I just made gluten-free flour.
So expensive. I saw that on the back. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
so have you bought the gluten-free flour at the health food
Once.
store? It's so crazy. So flour is like what,
So
$1.50? Gluten-free flour is like $12.50.
Yeah, it's
and
insane.
all it is them taking a mill and grinding rice or chickpeas or oats to a flour. And then they like upcharge you like 1,000% because they're like, well, they gotta buy it because they have an allergy or whatever. So you don't have to. Now you can actually take chickpeas, oats, almonds, and you can take your 1,400 watts of power, that 2¼ horsepower, and create your own flour just using your blender.
Wow.
So that's
You know
really
what?
special. I mean, you might save the price of the blender in just the amount of flour.
Oh, sure. We only have a few seconds left for you to be able to take advantage of this. We started out, Kai Jared, how many did we start out with? Like 200, I think.